Brian Kelly, 4 places he's been a head coach. Win, 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 win. One big in all of them. He's been a head coach since 91. He knows how to head coach. If you look right now at the top 10 in college football, only one program is an academic power, Notre Dame. What does that mean? He's having to compete against Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, Texas A&M, Florida, Georgia, at an academic power. It's a much more rigorous class load for the average football player. It's hard to win at Notre Dame. I'm not rolling the dice on a coordinator with Justin Herbert and Deshaun Watson. I'm not rolling the dice with Trevor Lawrence, with Justin Fields. I don't understand why Brian Kelly isn't mentioned. For the record, well, he's old. No, he's not. He spent so many days in wind-blown environments that he looks old. It's all that wind in Cincinnati and Notre Dame. He's 59. Belichick's a decade older. Pete Carroll's a decade older. Andy Reid's almost a decade older. He's 59 years old. I'm in my 50s. Do I look old? Don't answer that. The point is, Brian Kelly, Matt Campbell at Iowa State, everybody loves him. He's never won 9 games in a weak conference. Brian Kelly goes to Notre Dame. They have games scheduled he can't get out of. Like your Stanford's, he goes there every other year. And I'm not saying Stanford and USC are great, but they're a lot better than the teams Iowa State's playing 90% of the year. And I like Matt Campbell. He may be great. But essentially what Brian Kelly is, he's Matt Rule at Carolina with twice as much experience. And by the way, Brian Kelly, I know he's not an offensive guy. If you're coaching since 91, you can coach offense. But he's not an offensive guy. Right now, in the NFL, division leaders, 4 division leaders are coached by defensive guys. Seattle and Pete Carroll, Pittsburgh and Tomlin, Vrabel and the Titans, Bill Sean McDermott. Miami Dolphins are not a division-leading team, but Brian Flores is a defensive guy. Let's stop the idea that, you have to be an offensive guy to win in this league. It's nonsense. That's just not the case. Do you look at some of the greatest coaches of all time? They've overwhelmingly been defensive guys, not offensive guys. So Matt Campbell is doing a great job at Iowa State, deserves all the love in the world. Brian Kelly is going to be in his second BCS playoff. And again, when he's recruiting against Clemson and Alabama and LSU, Notre Dame is remote, bad weather, religious umbrella. Academic workload is very difficult. I just don't get it. He's had 4 straight 10-win seasons at Notre Dame. They went 20 years, couldn't find the right coach. I don't get it. Head coach, successful. And by the way, you're going to have to pay him. I mean, he's not, but I think there's this idea that Brian, he so many windblown games, everybody looks at him and the cheeks are red and he's up there and maybe he's got an old school personality. He's 59 years old. He's a 59-year-old guy. Guys are coaching in the NFL, they're almost 70. I mean, Nick Saban's like 67, isn't he? And Nick Saban looks great. Nick Saban could coach for another 10 years. I don't get it. I'm not rolling the dice on a coordinator with Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Deshaun Watson, and Justin Herbert. I'm not going with a coordinator. I'm not doing it. And I know Brian Flores. Yeah, it happens occasionally, but I like head coaches. I like head coaches. Brady got a guy who had been a head coach, Belichick. Tom Coughlin had been a college coach, and then he'd been an NFL coach, and then the Giants hire. I like head coaches. Urban Meyer's been a head coach a bunch, and Parcells was a head coach. All right. Eric Mangini, head coach, will be joining us next. Everybody could use a little comfort this holiday season with Casper's holiday sale. Give the gift when you're battling cold. Give the gift of cozy. 10% off site-wide for a limited time. We know about their outrageously comfortable thing you're into. It's called Discovery Plus. It's coming in 2021, U.S. only. Got shows you love, brands you love, like the Food Network, HDT, Discovery Channel, plus some exclusive originals, Discovery. Blazing 5, all those odds provided by Fox Bet, top of next hour. I feel great about my picks this week. Really like them. Have some underdogs this week. Like some underdogs this week. So 1 month ago today, exactly, and I do this usually 2 or 3 times as we go down the stretch. About every 3 weeks to 4 weeks, I'll do this on a show. And I did it 1 month ago as of this morning, that I take all the teams. If the playoffs were today, who would I like? Who ends up in the Super Bowl? I'm not going to predict the Super Bowl. I'll wait till Super Bowl week, but I'll tell you where. So let's start with the AFC. Here's the current AFC playoff matchups if they began today. The Colts would be at the Kansas City Chiefs. I think you know who I would like. Kansas City is, I think, the only team in the NFL that plays several different ways to win. Physical, finesse, in front, behind. I would take the Chiefs. The Dolphins at the Titans. I would take Tennessee. I think the Dolphins have been a great story. I do not think they're a great team, and right now, they're not sure who their quarterback is. It's been a wonderful year, but this is a baby step league. They get into the playoffs. They don't win a road playoff game. I take the Titans. Browns at the Bills. I just think Buffalo's a better football team. I also think Buffalo defensive coach Sean McDermott, they are very good situationally, defensively, and I think Allen's better than Baker, obviously. I would take Buffalo to win that game. They're a good home team. Then the Bills are at the Steelers. I'll pick an upset. I'll take the Bills over Pittsburgh. I think Buffalo does several things very well. I'm not sure what the Steelers do well, and now they're banged up. They're talented, but what can they lean on outside of sacks? Not much. Tennessee at Kansas City. Too many people are calling for an upset here. Kansas City is a better football team. They'll be at home. And the Titans, let's be honest, as much as I like them this year, they rolled the Colts last week. They also got blown out by Cincinnati. They can be a little hot and cold. I'd take Kansas City. Then it's Buffalo at Kansas City in the AFC Championship. I have no problem saying Kansas City wins and probably rolls here. Let's go to the NFC. Arizona's at Seattle. Kyler Murray's beat up. I think this is a coaching and a roster mismatch. I think with the addition of Carlos Dunlap, Jamal Adams healthy, now Josh Gordon, this Seattle roster's damn good. They're at home, experienced coach and quarterback. They win this game. Tampa Bay at Green Bay. I think it's a bad matchup for Tampa. I don't think this is a good matchup for Tampa, for Green Bay. Tampa can be a physical team. Green Bay is not. I'll take the Bucs. And then I'll take the Rams, even though they go on the road to beat the New York Giants. I do think it's close. Defensive front for the Giants keeps it close, but I would take the Rams. What do we have after that? Buccaneers at the Saints. Saints win. Much like Tampa's a bad matchup for the Packers, Saints are a bad matchup for Tampa. Beat them 3 straight times. Rams go to Seattle. I'm going to take the more consistent Seahawks in this game. And by the way, it'll be close. Rams, Seahawks, there are defensive issues. Aaron Donald gives the Seahawks the offensive line issues. Rams, Seahawks will be a very close game. Jalen Ramsey matches up very well against DK Metcalf. It's a close game. I'll take Seattle at home in bad weather. Seahawks